22nd. Okay, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and now I will call this regular school board meeting of Independent School District number 544 to order, and we'll begin by establishing our quorum.
Kirby Anderson.
Present.
Kelly Graff. Here. Jenny Christensen. Present. Missy Hermes here. Melanie Cole.
Present.
Stephen Vigasa.
I'm here.
We have a quorum.
All right, I will seek a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The agenda is approved, and we have a resolution on acknowledgements, and this is a thank you to the following individuals and businesses for their donations to the MAP Stars at Fergus Falls Area Learning Center. This was for student expenses at the upcoming MAP Stars State Conference. So the donators were Park Region Telephone, Aura Fabrication, First Lutheran Church, Olson Oil, Lakeway Express, Jamie Mace Family Dentistry, American Federal Bank, FM Bank, Great Plains Natural Gas, Fergus Falls Habitat for Humanity, Pickett and Muth CPA, Interstate Engineering, Lake Region Healthcare, Fergus Tire Center, Riverside, Fergus Falls Lines, the Fraternal Order of Eagles, number 2339, and Ed and Kim Shea. So a thank you to them. Will someone offer the resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer the resolution and move for its adoption.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I know there was at least, was it 3 of us that helped with the judging that day? I know you two were.
4 of us.
4 of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a great deal. I've participated a couple years now. It's a super deal, and it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good. We'll turn to you, clerk, for a roll call.
Okay. Kelly Graff.
Yes.
Jenny Christensen. Yes. Missy Hermes, yes. Melanie Cole.
Yes.
Stephen Vigasa.
Yes.
Kirby Anderson.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
All right, thank you. We have reports, and listed first is Amelia Lamar, the curriculum director, and we will move that report to our next meeting. So first up is John Steinbrenner, elementary principal at Lincoln.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Say just a quick note of appreciation here. We have about 70 people who work at Lincoln School each day, and all of them really play such a huge part in the future successes of our students and the health of our community. And I just really feel fortunate to be part of that group. And I'm saying that because I sent out a survey last week that's related to our school district's goal of a 95% positive satisfaction rating. I posed the question to our families: how would you rate your overall satisfaction with your child's experience at Lincoln School? 70% expressed being very satisfied, 25% identified themselves as being satisfied, and less than 1% identified as being dissatisfied. So as far as reaching that goal of 95%, we were sitting right at about 99.62%. And I feel like that is due in large or due completely to those hardworking folks at Lincoln School. So they're just, they're really a great representation of our school district, and just really proud of them. We receive comments like, Lincoln is the perfect place for our youngest learners. We have truly enjoyed our time at Lincoln, preschool through first grade. We'll miss it next year. And lastly, I just want to share that I'm very appreciative with the school and how they want the best for my child. Those were some of the feedback that we received. We had a few fix-its too. There's interest in after-school programming at Lincoln School. That's been expressed. There's continued interest in activities like donuts with dad or muffins with mom, or opportunities to come in and have lunch with their kids. things that we don't do right now. So an opportunity for us to expand those offerings I think would be welcomed. And overall parents expressing interest in being part of the school day, whether that's volunteering, reading, or attending field trips, which sounds like a great problem to have with folks wanting to be in the building helping us out. So just some nice feedback. As we continue to receive some of those survey results, I'll end that survey here after a while, but once it's fully published, then I'll share it with all of you so you can have a full scope. But that's just some preliminary feedback that we received. With regard to current programming, Otter Preschool and ECFE are in their home stretch. We have about 3 weeks remaining of programming, with the last day at Otter Preschool being May 19th. Our annual Touch a Truck event is scheduled for Monday, May 18th at 5:30. That's an ECFE event, but it's kind of a culmination of the school year, and it's really a family favorite. Kids come out and they have a really nice time. So that's on May 18th at 5:30. Kindergarten and first grade, we're entering into that busy season where everybody's doing all the things all at one time. And so it's just kind of an acknowledgement to families that it's going to get really, really busy here over the upcoming weeks. Some items of particular interest, we have our Spring Sings coming up, which are our K1 music concerts, and those happen during the day, May 28th and May 29th. Then we have the Booster-a-thon Fun Run, and that's in partnership with the PTO, and that's on May 21st. And then also the Kindergarten Farm Day, which is on May 15th, and that's really, that's a program that our high school FFA ends up putting on for our kindergartners. So that's really a fun day too, something to look forward to. Maybe some of you have some interest in learning about next year and what kindergarten might look like, so I have a few numbers to share with you. Future programming for Otter Preschool. We're sitting right now at about 80% capacity in our full day programming. So our 4 and 5-year-olds. So those are classrooms of 20 students, and spread out evenly across those classes of 20, we have about 16 registered for each. So given that we're still in April, I think that we have some room to grow, but we're staffed appropriately at this point. Our 3-year-old half-day programming right now is about 50% capacity. That's not surprising to me. We continue to receive registrations over the course of the summer. And 3-year-olds, with this being the first preschool experience that families have, it just takes a little bit longer to work through that process. Kindergarten, we're staffed right now and planning for 8 sections in the fall. Current registration is that we have 126 committed for next fall, and 126 is about where we are right now. And so we've already matched this year's enrollment. 109 of those are fully registered. We have 7 who are in certain phases of that full registration. And then there are 61 more on the census who remain uncommitted. So as far as potentials, there are 61 who are still out there. And then of course there may be some folks who aren't on the census at all. So historically we've added about 40, up to 40 over the summer. And so we really could be sitting quite nicely with numbers that reflect more so not this current year, but the year before and the year before that. So I think we're in a really good spot. I had maybe expressed in discussions past that typically on May 1st we're at about 55% enrollment. I think with some of the work that we've done so far as helping people to get through that registration process, that might not be like a data point that we can rely on, but I think it's fair to say that we'll add about 40 more over the course of the summer. So that aligns really well with our 8 sections that we're planning for. The youngest learners offering was really well received by the public. That section is full, and we received really a lot of nice feedback on that. One of the factors that we considered is would that end up impacting the number of children that remain in Otter Preschool as really age-eligible kindergarten kids. So this year right now in Otter Preschool there are 18 students who could have been kindergartners this year. They're age eligible. Next year, where we're sitting is we have 5 only. So if we're using those 2 numbers, we've shifted about 13 students and really given families the opportunity to feel comfortable having their children move on to kindergarten. So I think it was, it's a move worth trying. And I think we'll see how all of this plays out. But like I said, that was well received by the public. A lot of great feedback on that. First graders, transitioning here. So currently the kindergarten is at 7 sections. That's going to be reduced down to 6 sections next year. So we'll have 2 sections at each site. So 2 sections of first grade at Lincoln, 2 at McKinley, and 2 at Adams. And the reason I'm sharing that is for planning purposes, those school placement letters are going to go out in May. Now, those won't be class placement letters. Folks won't know yet who their teachers are just because those decisions haven't been made yet. But working closely with Mr. Kolbeck, we really wanted to let families know as soon as we're able where their children would be transitioning to, simply because we'll be shared across 3 different buildings. So we're already positioned to do that. And that's the information that I have for you. If there's any questions about any of this data that I shared, I'm happy to do my best to answer that now.
Does anyone have questions for Mr. Steinbrenner?
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. We'll hear next from Scott Kolbeck, elementary principal at McKinley and Adams. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening. I want to start by talking about a very successful and joyful event we had last week at Adams School. We had the Adams School Book Fair. You might recall earlier this school year in November, we had a book fair at McKinley School, and this time it was Adams School. So besides the books for sale, we had some fun things going on in the cafeteria, such as pin the book on the otter, ring toss, photo booth with Otto the otter, free popcorn, beanbag toss, scavenger hunt, guessing jar, and student art displays. So a very special thank you to our Adams staff for leading this effort. Over $9,400 was spent at the book fair just last Thursday evening. So it was great to see a lot of families coming back. We had families there who have students at Lincoln, McKinley, Cleveland. So it was just all in all a really good evening, and I think Ms. Christensen could attest to that. I saw you there. Also, I wanted to talk about just a feel-good activity that occurred last week. Thank you to Mrs. Lill, our PE teacher at McKinley. Mrs. Lill also is our adaptive PE teacher, and she took all 10 of her DAPE students, adaptive PE students, along with about as many, if not more, adults to support those kids, brought them to the bowling alley and just had an absolute wonderful time of bowling and some treats and snacks. We got some good pictures and just a lot of fun. So thank you to all of the staff at McKinley for providing that activity for those students. The month of May coming up here starting on Friday. May might just be the most exciting time to be a student. There's so many things on the May calendar, some upcoming events, things like 3rd grade public library trips, 3rd grade Cleveland visit, the spring music programs at both schools for all grades, the 2nd grade Maplewood State Park trip, the 1st grade Wahpeton Zoo trip. We have an on-site Magic Treehouse performance for 1st graders at all 3 elementary schools, the 4th grade orchestra tour, the Boosterthon Fun Run, and then many combined public library and Uncle Eddie's outings for other classrooms. Mr. Steinbrenner touched on this a little bit. I too want to just talk about next year. You heard him mention that of the current kindergarteners, those kids will be divvied out a third, a third, a third. A third to Lincoln, a third to Adams, a third to McKinley. And there are currently 126 kindergarteners right now. We think there might be 13. That might be doing kindergarten again. That means 113 kids total moving on to first grade. And when you divide that by the 6 sections, it's approximately 19 kids in each class. So right now we have about 38 kids staying at Lincoln, 38 scheduled for McKinley, 38 for Adams. And as you heard him say, letters will go out in May because we do want those families to know so they can go into the summer not wondering. We want them to know where their child will be attending, but we haven't put the class lists together. That's something that we work closely on in the summer. And then if I could talk about the current first graders at Lincoln. They too need to move on to either Adams or McKinley. And so 2/3 of the Lincoln first graders will be moving over to McKinley, and the other third will be moving over to Adams School. And so those families will also be receiving letters stating which school their soon-to-be second grader has been assigned to. What do we look at, and how do we decide on school assignments? We look at many things. One is called school familiarity, and here's what I mean by that. If I have a student leaving Lincoln and coming to Adams or McKinley, if they have a third grade sibling at one of those schools this year who's moving on to Cleveland, that family is very familiar with a particular school. So we've assigned their child either entering first grade or second grade, probably most just entering first grade, because if they were entering second grade, that means they were a first grader this year, which means they most likely would have been in the same school as their third grade sibling. So we're talking mostly about kids going into first grade. If their family has a familiarity with the building because they had a third grader there this year, that's something we looked at. We also looked at siblings. So we have some kids in first grade or second grade at Adams or McKinley who are remaining there next year. And then if they have a sibling out at Lincoln, we'll keep the siblings together. We look at proximity. So we look at where you live. Now keep in mind, in our small community, our 2 elementary schools are 1.4 miles apart. So you need to live fairly close to an elementary school when we talk about proximity to, we're looking at if kids could truly maybe even just walk to school. But if you're going to be on a bus, then we just kind of look at where might be the best school for you. We also look at learning needs. We have to take into consideration, as an example, the kids who receive speech services. We want to make sure that those kids are equally divvied out amongst the schools to make sure that the case loads of our speech language pathologists are equal. We look at the needs of students based on their IEPs. There are certain services and programs that we can offer at McKinley that we can't offer at Adams, and likewise some services and programs we can offer at Adams that we don't at McKinley. So there's just a lot that goes into figuring out what schools these kids will be attending, and I just wanted to spend a little time updating you on kind of the thought process behind that. We're looking forward to a great month of May. We're very excited. I'm excited about next school year. I mean, we feel for the most part we have our staff in place, and we're excited about that piece as well. So with that, I would entertain any questions from the board.
It appears there are no questions. Thank you for your
Thank
report.
you.
All right. We'll hear next from Principal Tindy Runn at Cleveland. Good evening, Tindy.
Good evening, everyone. Cleveland's been all about MCA testing the past few weeks, and so that's been underway, and we've completed the MCA reading assessments and math assessments, and fifth graders still have yet to take the microphone
Yes.
closer. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fifth graders just need to finish that MCA science test, and that is next week, so then that will be a wrap. But it's going really, really well, and I just really want to give a shout out to Mackenzie Cunningham, who is our para in our library. She has done a fantastic job of overseeing and coordinating the MCA schedule and testing assessment. So it's great to have her. This is her second year, so much more confident this year than that first year around when you're not quite sure what to expect. But it's a big puzzle with small group sessions, individual sessions, and classroom sessions, and making sure that we work around Fayed and music and recess and lunch times, but it fits, and it was a success. Next week, we are already starting the end of the year universal screening process so that every student is assessed in that regard. And then mid-May, we will have our data retreat where we really dig deep into the student data and identify students who really would benefit from a boost in skill development and plan accordingly to start that at next fall. Last week, the annual Math Masters competition took place for 4th and 5th grade students. And I just want to recognize these students who have been working really hard and did really well, and were very proud of themselves last week. So in the 4th grade, there were 22 teams total and 110 students participating. And in the individual round, we had 4 4th graders place in the top 15. And those students are in 6th place, Wyatt Christensen. Ida Gustafson came in 8th place, Emmerich Wynn in 11th place, and Katrina Alstead in 14th place. Fact Fluency is another competition that they participate in, and Ida Gustafson took 4th place in that. And then in the team round, the 4th grade Brainers took 6th place, and that team was comprised of Wyatt Christensen, Ida Gustafson, Kylie Harding, and Evan L. And all of those classmates were really excited for Ida when they came back, because Ida placed in each of those categories. And so when they came back to school, they had a pizza party and celebrated for a little while before continuing on with their school day. So congratulations to all of those 4th graders. And then in 5th grade, there were 14 teams and 71 individuals that participated overall. And we had 4 otters placed in the top 10. Aiden Haugrud took 1st place in the individual rounds, and Aiden took 1st place in the individual round last year when he was in 4th grade too. So he was very excited about that. Very humbly excited about that, put it that way. Thad Lemer took 2nd place, Nolan Swenson took 4th place, and Finley Miley in 8th place. And then in the Fact Fluency category, we had 5 students place in the top 10. In a 2nd place tie was Thad Lemer and Nolan Swenson. Aiden Haugrud took 4th place in Fact Fluency, Declan Marquette 5th place, and Gwyneth Stahlberger 10th place. And then the team rounds, and you just gotta love their team names, but the Mini Mathers took 1st place, and that team had Oliver Cole, Aiden Haugrud, Declan Marquette, Finley Miley, and Riley Soley. And the Numerator Nachos took 4th place, and that team was Olita Field, Marin Johnson, Holden Shirkey, and Thad Lemer. So there were weeks and weeks of practicing that these students would either take a little bit of their recess time or a little bit of music time in the center of their day to just get together and practice to prepare for this competition. So they were well prepared and headed that direction for the day. So congratulations to all of these mathematicians on who were motivated to participate and up for that challenge. And then a big thank you to Mrs. Simongard. She coordinates this and makes that time to practice with those kids and sees this whole project through. So very exciting. And just a couple other highlights. Last Thursday was Earth Day, but we have a committee in our community who promotes Earth Day. They get students to, students are invited to create a poster promoting the theme, and all of the posters are hung at the public library. So if you have time to swing in there and see the displays, there's some creative posters as usual. And this past Saturday, this Earth Day committee had activities planned and provided a day for families and children and families to participate in at the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center as well. Last Thursday and Friday, Katrina Case, who is a contemporary American painter. She loves coming to the Prairie each year about this time to do some watercolor painting lessons with the students. So she provides a lesson inside, and then they're all out in the field with their tray of watercolors and get to do some detailed painting with her. Tomorrow, the 4th grade PSC classes, Prairie Science classes, will spend the day at Adams Pond studying the rookery on Grotto Lake. And then next Monday, our 5th grade classes will participate in conservation days and the activities that take place at Walker Lake Fish Hatchery. And then Mr. Colbeck kind of get an overview of some activities. May is a whirlwind of activities, field trips and special events, concerts, the Boosterthon Fun Run. This is the last week of our school year where there isn't something out of the ordinary taking place. From here on out, we just have to really keep track of that calendar of events and rest well, so we're ready for it. Some activities, though, looking to summer and what is available for our students in Fergus Falls. This year, again, we'll have summer otter adventures for 2 weeks in June and 2 weeks in July for students who participate in that program during the school year. Orchestra camp will be offered for students who are interested in orchestra. Biology camp will take place for a week at the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center in the latter part of June. And then the Fergus Falls Public Library is continuing our partnership with the summer reading program. So there's some really great opportunities for our students to participate in over the course of the summer to keep their learning going. And that's my report for tonight. Any questions?
All right. Any questions for Principal Rund?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Our next report will be from Ivan Hurst, Middle School Principal.
Good evening. Going to start with some recognitions here this evening. Our 7th and 8th grade honors breakfasts are again going to be held. This Wednesday we have our 7th graders, and those are students that have had a 3.5 GPA in each of the first 3 quarters of the school year. 48% of our 7th graders made that accomplishment. So that's, we're talking half of our students are doing very, very well in the school world. 8th grade, we're going to have 37% of our 8th graders met that threshold. So we'll have our breakfast in the morning in the cafeteria. Usually it takes about 35 or 40 minutes, and we recognize students, have a small breakfast, and read names and present certificates. Thank you to Glindy Nielsen Funeral Home for supporting the 7th grade breakfast, and the Student Council supports our 8th grade breakfast. So that's how we pay for that. Moving on, the 7th and 8th grade honor choir that was held recently in St. Michael, Albertville. The event was sponsored by the American Choral Directors of Minnesota. Congrats to Gavin Webb, Logan Gausted, Shepard Hintz, Zeke Cumrow, Audra Hintz, and Jackson Schneeberger for the time, effort, and talent to practice and be selected. So congratulations to them. The district goal that we're presenting on this month is on customer service. And so things we've done in the middle school is we've identified this goal as something that's important to us at our staff meetings. That's part of what we present our goals at each staff meeting and review those very briefly. But that's something that we put to the forefront. We've added a monthly newsletter, which you all get, to communicate better with families and to offer help and support. We did our phone call training this year to talk about, when I say training, not really, but we just had a discussion what those phone calls would look like, and because people get nervous, and so we talked about strategies to do that. To fit in customer service, and then an improved focus on parent communication overall using our BAR program. That was really important to us as we spent time in this room and in that room, writing down the things that were important to us. So much so as the 8th grade team has brainstormed this solution for even more parent communication than they have done in the past in an effort to prep those students for 9th grade. So that's my report on customer service. Moving on, school highlights. Ms. Rund said MCA testing. That's what we've been talking about a lot lately. We're done with reading. We're finishing up math. Science starts tomorrow. I just want to thank Christy Horgan. She does an amazing job. All the tidbits that come in, and she's just really a master at that. She's just really super talented and really a great communicator. We like to get those results right away, and that's kind of one of those parts that really frustrate us. The reading is a new test this year, so we're not getting any of those results right away. But math, we are getting some results. And I really didn't have a chance to compile those into anything super usable. But as we promoted that test in our class meetings, we talked about your names I used to say at the top of the paper, but we don't use paper anymore. But your name's on the computer screen, so you should take pride in that test and do your very best. And, they might forget about that thing, and the teachers are really working hard to prep kids for that test. But Mr. Johnson and I, we challenged the students in our last class meeting to do their best. To promote proficiency and an effort on the test, we set the goal of proficiency plus growth. I have to quote growth because the tests don't correlate. Proficiency plus growth totaled 75% for the school. And if our school could have proficiency plus growth of 75%, so either a student was proficient or they grew. If they weren't proficient, did they do better than the last time they took the test? We threw that out there. And Mr. Johnson and I agreed to be duct taped to the maroon gym wall in late May if we achieved that goal. We got some decent amount of traffic on that, so I'm excited as I just eyeball the results. It's going to be close on that number, but I think that got some kids thinking about it and talking about it, and so hopefully we'll see. I know I won't be able to answer my phone for at least an hour, so don't call. Come on. We had, we talked about middle school and wanting to have an environment that's enjoyable to come to. So the last several years, we've planned a spirit week in the spring. The student council and Mr. Johnson planned dress-up days. This was the week of April 6th. Dress-up days for each day of the week. And on Tuesday, we had our Pep Fest, where we did relay races, and we handed out our Otters R in front of the whole school. We, of course, we had a few cheers and then ended with the school song. So something that it's just fun to see kids in a different environment, and then when the teachers participate, it's even more fun. We didn't have as much of that this year. To end the week, we had the middle school dance, which...
A lot of people are really happy that's back.
That's great, yeah. About 235 kids went, and it's like one of those things, I don't know about your in-laws, but I love my in-laws. So when the in-laws are coming over, we're like, the in-laws are coming over. But it was really great to do it. I mean, they're doing it, and they're dressed up, and they're all smiling, and they're all talking, and they really did dance a lot. So it was a really, love it.
What was the correlation with your in-laws?
Well, just like they're coming over, this is gonna be great. And then they come
okay.
over, and it's better than you thought it was gonna be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks for asking.
Thank you for that.
My in-laws are great. It's on the record.
Okay.
Last week, Ted Cohorst, Alana Johnson, and Matt Johnson attended the National Bar Conference, which was really, they came back, they were pretty giddy today. That was fun just to have the office meeting. We just kept telling stories and sharing, and last year we went a little bit, tell us about it, when Tracy Grabowska, Janelle Holt, and myself went, tell me about this. What does this really look like? Now they're going with questions, and they're looking for sessions that really targeted the things that have been challenges for us. So that was really great. They came back and they were all smiles, and that was really great. And I just had a couple comments. I said, Mr. Johnson, would you just write a couple comments for that? And he said, my favorite parts were the parent communication tools and how data is used to drive student interventions. And that's kind of what the BAR program is intended to do. So, I expect as we sit down as a office team that some of those ideas we'll work to implement those moving forward. He said we picked the brains of other educators, coordinators, administrators, and even state level educational professionals and policymakers over our networking time. And so they just had a really uplifting time, and it might have been a little busier than I was used to in the middle school office, but we did make it through. So. Upcoming events. There's a number of things. You've heard them all. The Young Eagles, our Fly Day. We do that in 8th grade here. That's been happening for a number of years in our community. The sole mission is to introduce and inspire kids to be into the world of aviation. Our 8th graders met in the auditorium today to learn some basics of operating an airplane, and then just to learn more about what this day is going to look like. Next Tuesday, May 5th, that's when they'll all take their turn flying. So a really, really memorable experience for all of those kids. Miss Holt is our primary communicator for that. She organizes that, and I'm really thankful for her work to do that. This Wednesday, we have our 6th graders are going to the Capitol, the class trip. So that's right around the corner. We have a number of chaperones and groups, and they'll be going to the Minnesota Capitol, of course, and then the Minnesota History Museum and the Science Museum. So they're leaving at 6:15. And they told me it was kind of like the subway in New York. When it drives away, it's not coming back. So, and then a full day to return approximately 7 p.m. In the evening. Full day. Appreciate Mr. Carlson for writing the grant to the 544 Foundation so we can pay for transportation. Ms. Weldy also writes a grant to the History Center so we can get some support to get them in there at a reduced cost as well. Other upcoming events, all-school orchestra, May 18th. Track and field day for our 5th and 6th graders is May 20th. The makeup day is May 22. The middle school band concert is May 21st. And then we had a conflict with our choir concert, so we moved that from, I forget the date, but I wrote down May 28th for the next one. May 28th, the Thursday before, I want to say Thursday before school's out now, at our normal time. 6th grade at 11:30 and 7th and 8th grade at 7 o'clock. 28th, Kirby? I'm pretty sure it's a Thursday, a Memorial Day week. So we had to move that one. Any questions?
I don't see any questions. Thank you, Principal Hurst. We'll hear now from Mark Anderson, High School Principal, ALC, and IQ Academy.
Good evening. It's been busy. I'll start with the ALC. Carrie would like to thank Nancy Corbing. She's retiring from special education instructor for her hard work and dedication for the students and the staff. You're a bright light that will be missed next year. It's been an honor to work with and learn with her, so she's been really awesome. Her story's amazing. She didn't start as a special education teacher. Thank you to Diane Wicklund, who is our math teacher over there, who won't be coming back next year. And happy Administrative Assistance Day to Sydney Roxanis. Carrie says without Sydney, I don't think we would be able to function over there. She's the greeter at the front door and always has a smile on her face. Carrie has been working with Rhonda also on MCA testing. Kids come and go at the ALC at times. They haven't taken MCA testing real seriously. They got through it really quick. Some of the kids aren't attending when they're supposed to be there to take the test. One of the things that Carrie and I are working on was the CNA, the Comprehensive Needs Assessment with Lakes Country. She's working with World Savvy also on trying to get in some of the expectations and things set up there and get some information from parents. Some of the things she's talked about, customer service, is they've taken a number of surveys, got responses back. Total number of students who have taken the survey was 75 students. Students are happy at the ALC. There are just some things that they're going to have to work through and look at through their data to help engage them a little bit more. The conferences that they have over there allow families. Sydney actually calls all the families and sets up their parent conferences with their advisors, which is 85 students, give or take, each time they have it. About 65% have been represented. None of the families have any critical concerns about the ALC or things that they have at the top of their list. They are quick to call both Sydney and Carrie if they have problems, so they either call the office phone number. Carrie does a nice job of using her, not her personal Google text and phone number, but she calls them and texts them so they have constant communication. So they're working with that piece. World Savvy is also taking information from staff members over there, gathering information, how to better communicate with families and collect information, and just getting information on what's going on in the classroom, looking at engagement and pieces like that, not just with students, but how they can get more families to communicate on a daily, weekly basis with the ALC students and families. Sometimes if there's a lack of responses, from families, Carrie had to send out the parent survey a couple times to get information. She talked about moving forward, doing those type of things on conference night. So they're there in front of the staff and they can get on the computer or their phone and quickly answer some of the questions they have. Marketing. Carrie has one full-time Ashby student during the regular school day that was here this year, and they have one credit recovery student that has open enrolled also. There's a possible addition of a Battle Lake student coming to the LC next year, and more registrations during the summer she hopes are going to happen, so they'll have some more numbers over there through that piece. She has enrollment of 2 students from Ashby, like I mentioned. She encouraged summer school attendance for students out of the district. She's offering that opportunity for kids to come to us to pick up credit recovery. She's hoping that that will help encourage them maybe to choose us. Because one of the things that we do offer is the kids at the LC have the ability, especially over at the rec, to go to some of the Woods, Ottles, and Metals classrooms. So there's a little more elective options there. We did work on some opportunities with the business department going down there this year, and then they're looking at a couple other ideas for next year also. And barriers, obviously determining who to target, and then sending that information out to other schools that they have an option to come to the LC. And the MapStar students hosted a regional event. So they were here, I want to say last week, 2 weeks ago. Kristen Tua was here. They had the space down here. It went really well, practicing for their opportunity that's coming up for the ALC. A lot of smiles on the kids' faces. A couple kids were like, I think I may have learned a few things today that I'm going to use when I'm at the MapScars contest. They also found out that you might want to dress appropriately when you come and present to people in the community. They let one of the young ladies present, and she didn't score very well, and when she asked why, she wasn't dressed appropriately. She didn't meet our requirements for our dress code, and they let her go through because when they go to compete, there's one of the things they look at. So it was a pretty interesting conversation, and she was disappointed but learned a big lesson. IQ Academy, Ryan and his group of staff members have been on the road for a long time. They are finishing up their assessments and testing, and he's pretty happy with that. He's got the opportunity for others to take over, so he doesn't have to do all the traveling. They kind of split it up this year. It was nice, and he was able to be here to support his staff when he needed to be. But they are finishing that up and hopefully have that done shortly. They are going to think about moving to the FastBridge Universal Screener for next year at their elementary level to help support some of the data that they might be missing. They have a lot of students who don't take the MCAs, don't show up for the assessment or opt out, and they're just trying to find other ways to collect data. And they feel that that's one of the ways they could do it the best. Customer service. Ryan also sent out some surveys to students, our staff, 27 of them, parent learning coaches, about 120 replied, and students 7th through 12th grade, 173 kids replied back. So they have some good information to look at. He'll be working with Shay from Lakes Country, doing their CNA piece. The IQ Academy will have a social event, Mall of America, Friday, May 8th. He's been trying to get me to go down to that. I think he's asking me again this year. IQ graduation reception is Friday, June 5th, down here from 4 to 5. He would like the board members to know you're welcome to attend if you want. He'll send another reminder out before then also. The IQ Academy surveyed students, parents, and learning coaches and staff on the document I shared, Jeff, that came right when the board meeting started. Ryan has that on there, so you'll be able to look at some of that information with the board tonight at the retreat, at their next meeting. So he's working also, like I said, with the CNA, the Comprehensive Need Assessment. So this will be information he and Shay take back and put a plan in with his staff as they move forward. He's talked about that, and he also has contributions to the district newsletter, which helps some of the surrounding areas, some of the students know what's happening. We've talked about how to brand the IQ Academy more around the area also, so we're working on those pieces. At the high school, I would like to loud shout out to Rhonda Mack for her work with the MCA, the ACT, and the ASVAB testing for the high school. We spent our time down here in this space for the MCA test. We left the ACT up the hill, and the ASVAB kids came down here. She does a wonderful job of scheduling that for us. I also want to thank her and give her a lot of props. She was there last Thursday when the Court of Appeals was in our high school. She helped them get online and get connected with technology. which allowed the judges and attorneys to look at some of the things they needed to reference that they didn't bring with paper. I also want to say thank you to Andrew Kowalski and Kim Link and the paras in both their classrooms for the work they did for Unified Prom. We had 75 kids attend. It was really awesome to see, and our our special ed kids were really excited to have opportunity to have Unified Prom. We even had a few dress up in suits, and it was really nice to see. A lot of things were given away at the end of that also. Also a big shout out to Shane, Michelle, and Carrie, and our juniors who set up for prom. Prom was this last weekend. It was awesome. The kids were absolutely amazing. And so they did a great job at Grand March and an amazing job down in the gym. And I don't know how well they behaved at after prom, but I haven't heard anything negative, so I'm assuming they did just fine there also. We did move prom up an hour and let them out an hour early, which was really, really nice. Walking out of the high school at 11:15 versus 12:15 was really nice for the adults that were there supervising. We did finish our MCA testing like I talked about. One of the things we'll be looking at is some of the data as we get moving forward here. Customer service, I sent a leak to Jeff, so I'm gonna just let you look at that. There's about 6 pages of information that we have from our parents that we collected. One of the purposes is our CNA, like the ALC and IQ have done. We've taken that information. To be honest, you could lay it over the top of our student survey and our staff one, and it looks just about the same. So it's way better than I thought it was going to come back with from our parents. I'm really excited about it, and our staff is looking at that data here in May at the leadership and staff meeting to make determinations on what our goals will be and communicating and connecting with parents and students in a better way than we have the past few years. Marketing, I sent a little one we sent around. Anybody who comes into the building for a tour, talks about wanting to come to the high school, we have that printed. We have about 100 of them. We had 3 kids today, not today, but this last couple of weeks that have come from surrounding schools who want to attend here next year. So we're excited about that. They all received one of those and a little You Matter card. So when they left, they were able to know that they're going to be part of the Otter Nation. Some of the other things that we've been talking about, we have shared that on our website, social media. That part has been connected and completed. Now we have to think about what's next. I was in an advisory meeting for one of our CTE committees, and a young lady that works at Alec Tech that's on the advisory board for us talked about student influencers. At Alec Tech, at North Dakota State, you name a college, they pay kids to do this. Not just pay kids, maybe it's tuition, they come up with an agreement. These kids go to do everything. They get social media things, they put pictures together, they're at events, and then they share that information with the college posts it, and then the kids get on and repost it, and it goes out. Instead of 40 people seeing it, 1,500 people see it. So we started having the conversation on, we have work-based learning. We have kids who are doing this already. So how do we tap into those skills while they're in school and use them to be influencers on the things that we're doing in our building and in our district that we can do with the students by giving that information to us, posting it, and then they go back out and repost to the thousands of people they have as friends versus the couple hundred that we may have on our social media posts. The bad part of it for us is it's at the end of the year, so we're getting into that end piece, getting things completed. I did connect with a junior who had one of the teachers at the advisory meeting that she felt would be really amazing at this. When I talked to her, she was like, I think I might want to do that in work-based learning next year. Come talk to me. At the beginning of the school year, I'm pretty interested, and I think I could get a couple friends who would be willing to work and support the things that you're looking for us to do. Thank you to our staff and our students in the support of attending the Minnesota Court of Appeals. I feel bad for the 2 attorneys that were there. They didn't realize that 680 kids were going to be in the auditorium, and they had to agree to do that part in the appeals court. It was really cool when you were there. Everybody was worried how the kids would behave. They were amazing. You couldn't hear a word in there except for the people speaking. Probably the 2 coolest times is when they asked everybody to rise. Everybody stood up at the same time. It was really neat. The kids were able to watch or hear the podcast before, 2 Mondays in a row. We made 2 different podcasts for them. I shared that link also with you, Jeff. If you want to share it with the board, they can hear the case that it was appealed. The kids are wanting to know what their judgment of the judges are. Unfortunately, that's 90 days. That gets us back to possibly August. So we won't know until then, but I was assured that we would be able to let kids know what side they decided to move on and such. Upcoming events, April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd, the spring plays at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. May 2nd is at 2 o'clock. May 11th is senior recognition night in the auditorium at 7 o'clock. May 13th is our choir concert at 7. May 18th is all school orchestra at 7 o'clock in the Gold Gym. And May 20th is our band concert at 7 o'clock. And May 29th is our seniors last walk. It will be in the morning this year from 8:30 to 10:30. And then June 4th is the ALC graduation. And June 5th is our high school graduation at 7 o'clock. I will send out an invite to the board and find out who's planning on attending, as Carrie will do also for the ALC. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Any questions?
What's the school play?
That is Upside Down Peter Pan.
Okay.
Yep, it's really cool. She sent me the flyer again because they were up in the building and they didn't stick, so they have not stayed on the walls very well. But it's really good. The kids have done a phenomenal job, and they're looking forward to the opportunity to present here.
I think June 2nd down at the Speece Riverfront, I think is the American
yes.
Indian thing. Yeah?
American Indian.
Yep, I attended that last year, and that's an interesting thing. And then also I sat in on the presentation from the judges last week, and I agree, our students were great. And then I think it was really nice afterwards where the students were able to have lunch with the judges, not all of them, of course, but a certain group of them. And I know you offered that to the students, and they did a great job with it. I know you'd mentioned that some of the kids who are frequent flyers to your office, when they had the opportunity to work on this project with these judges and go to lunch with them and kind of chaperone them around or shepherd them around. And you told me you didn't see them there in your office for that whole 2-week period. So that's a good darn deal. But yeah, I was proud of our students. They did a nice job.
And a shout out to our police department they had 6 police officers that day, plus county sheriff was there also.
All right, great.
All right,
Thank you. Now we'll have the report from Superintendent Jeff Drake.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's just nice to listen to all the great things happening in our various buildings and appreciate all the work of our staff and all the amazing things our kids are accomplishing. A few thank yous tonight. Happy School Principals Day is May 1st, so that's coming up right around the corner, and you had the opportunity to listen to the things going on in their buildings and continue to see the leadership that they are exhibiting to their staff, our students, and also the community, so appreciate all they do. And then also on May 1st, it's kind of a double duty, but we have School Lunch Hero Day. And this is an opportunity for us to celebrate the work of our food service department, who also do an amazing job in supporting the needs of our students. They are already hard at work planning for the summer meal program that has been so appreciated by our community members. We'll have much more information about this later on, but we're switching our location this year. We will not be down by FM Bank. We will be out at Lincoln School. And because of the kind of the one-way access through there, we really think it'll improve traffic flow and make that whole process a little bit more user-friendly and seamless. Lots of congratulations. Lucy Mickelson finished 11th at the state speech tournament, and she competed in serious interpretation of poetry. And there were 24 other students that were competing at state in that category. So congratulations to Lucy on a great speech season. Estee Versteeg set a new otter track and field record in the 1,600 meter run. So congratulations to her. You've heard me speak about her before, as she had a great Nordic ski season as well. So again, congratulations to Estee. Brooke Zierden set a new school record in the discus, 127 feet 10 inches. So congratulations to her. And then on the 29th, after school in the Gold Gym, there will be signing day for our athletes who are going on to participate as college athletes, collegiate athletes next year. So congratulations to Estee, Mason, Brooke, Rachel, Reese, Landon, Isaac, Ian, and Sophia. And also I should say thank you to Derek for putting that event on too. It's really nice for the families and the coaches to come down and celebrate the athletes and their accomplishments. This one was already mentioned, the middle school choir, so thanks Mr. Hurst for bringing that one up and drawing attention to it. I had talked about our art students that qualified for the Section 6A art show. We did have one artist, student artist, that was best in category, and that was Bryn Blondo with the piece that you see before you in the category of ceramics. So congratulations to her. A couple other superiors in drawing. It was Havilah McCann, painting, Kiara Gallagher, and Shariah Shepard achieved superior ratings. So congratulations again to our art students for a really wonderful showing at the Region 6H show. The Math Masters was covered very well by Principal Rund, but just want to again thank Krista Simongard for her work and congratulate the students on marvelous showing with that competition. A couple updates on facilities. The Cleveland roof, we are thinking could possibly be done in the next 2 weeks. So that has been a long journey. Glad to see that coming to the end. I have heard that even with the recent rain, there have been no leaks coming through, so that's a really positive sign. So appreciate all the work going on there. Adams, we are anticipating that that roof will be completed towards the end of May, possibly going into a little bit of June maybe, but we think most likely end of May, but we'll keep you abreast of the progress. And then the Kennedy Pool renovation, we're at the stage now with work ongoing where we have weekly meetings to be updated on the progress. That is right on schedule right now, and so that should be completed by the end of June at the latest, but maybe a little bit even earlier than that. And then I should have included a photo of it, but I forgot. Out at Lincoln School at the Prairie restoration site, they have started preparing the ground for the shrubs and plants that will line the perimeter, and that serves as a barrier between the prairie and the agricultural work that goes on in the surrounding field. Then, for the sake of our community tonight, it is Vote Chris Tungseth. So this has been widely distributed to the community of Fergus Falls, and certainly not only has it been a wonderful experience for Chris, but has really drawn some nice attention to our community and both Fergus Falls Public Schools and Hillcrest. So we certainly wish Chris well. And this is one case, I don't know if you can vote early, but you surely can vote often. I had no idea you could cast as many votes as you can. So there are multiple ways to go and show your support for Chris, and we certainly wish him the very best of luck. And then this, on the heels of Lucy Mickelson's poetry at state, her 11th place finish, Mr. Scharnberg is offering in the Media Center tomorrow night an opportunity to participate in a live stream of some poetry. This is a national event, but our local folks that enjoy poetry will also have an opportunity to take the microphone and read some excerpts of their own original work or an excerpt of a piece of poetry that is meaningful to them. So appreciate Josh's work in organizing that event. And then on the 29th, right here in this space at 5 p.m., I will have a Community Connections That is open to anyone in the community that would like to learn more about the school, ask questions, share any concerns, or brainstorm ideas for how we can continue to improve. And with that, I will turn it over to the board for any questions.
No, you cannot vote early for Chris Tungsteth. You can start voting shortly after 7.
After
and
the
you have,
show starts.
Yep, and you have to be done voting about 5 or 10 minutes to 9.
There you have it.
And I think if he makes the top 3, there's going to be a parade and everything in town. And I think we're going to change the, which one was it? We had to change something from the middle school band concert had to be moved from the 6th to the 7th of May, just in case.
Just in case. Well, it would be a wonderful opportunity to celebrate if that comes true.
Very good. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Our next item of business is the general consent agenda, which includes minutes from our April 13th, 2026 board meeting. And then for approval, bills from April 14th to the 27th. So I'll turn to you, Steve.
Okay, we had $749,000 of invoices this period. Most of them were pretty normal bills. We had a big check to Lakeland Mental Health for the contracted services. We had to write a check for the roof at Adams for $64,000. And then just some end of the year expenditures to take advantage of the free shipping from Amazon and whatnot. So that is about it, and I just recommend that we pay the bills.
All right, thank you. For personnel activity, we have a certified staff hire, Lorena Roses, math teacher for the Kennedy Building. A renewal of a probationary contract for Emily Toso Elementary and Pete Phillips, Social Studies at the ALC. Support staff hire is Mitchell Toso to be the IT manager district-wide. And support staff separation, Zach Lewis, Student Services Coordinator. Will be done effective June 4th. So with that, is there a motion to approve the general consent items?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion on these? All in favor of approving the general consent items, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved. And we'll move to new business. Seeking a motion to approve a $50,654.50 quote from Two Trees for audio enhancement system at Adams Elementary. And in addition, a $6,270 quote from Cassette Electric to install it. Would someone make that motion?
So moved.
All right, Steve for the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Missy. Any discussion there? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Very well. Next item of business, approval of the 26-28 contract for the Title I paraprofessionals. So a settlement has been reached. Is there a motion to approve their contract?
So moved.
And a second?
Second?
All right. Any discussion on that? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved, and that concludes our regular agenda. We have a regular school board meeting here on Monday, May 11th at 5:15. The board will stick around for a work session with customer service survey, personnel, and a policy discussion. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.